Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be here because today I'm going to tell you about 7 greatest books which I read in this month. October was a really wonderful month. I think it's the best in this year because I read books which I really wanted. I felt a lot of emotions during the reading. I was so excited about some of the books. I had 3 books which just have 5 stars, and for me it's so unusual because really I was enjoying reading the stories and I wanted to tell you about them. Also in October I tried to read, of course, spooky books with them horrors, with mystique, with other moments which I really enjoyed in literature. So that's why I tried to read more horrors. Greatest wonderful story of Brom, it was Slewfoot, the story of bewitching. So I really love Brom, and if you watch my vlog about this story you can understand how I was enjoying the story. The story is talking about the 19th century with the not wonderful life for women, and our main girl, Abita, she was living on a farm with her husband, and in one moment something bad happened and she left alone, and she needed to do some things for payment for this farm to the brother of her husband, and this man was so horrible. He all the time tried to make some bad things with her, and actually it was really hard to read about her life, how he's alone, tried to do something like for surviving, and actually most of the time it was really pity to understand about her life and other women's life too. So the story was really connect with the magic, because in the forest near with the farm there is a strange cave with a strange creature which name is Slewfoot, and we can understand that he need to alive again because something bad happened with the magical world, with the forest, and he need to try to save everything for living and continue living in this place, because people who just start to have a lot of villages there start to be a bad thing for these magical creatures. And the Slewfoot just went out, and the first person who he met, of course, was Abita, and he understood that she is not bad. They try to help each other, and it was really wonderful to understand the friendship line between lady and the magical thing. So I really love the story of these magical moments, because you can also feel these, like, ancient magical moments, and it was really great. Also in the story we have a lot of historical moments about living of the people, where they lived, how they lived, they face the religion moments, the moments with the people when they can be friends to everybody, and in one moment when somebody said that this person is a witch, they start to say like, yeah, she's a witch, I knew that, and so on. So it wasn't so perfect for people in the story, because Brom showed them really badly thing, and I really was feel sorry for magical creatures and for Abita because of things which can happen there. In the story we have a lot of bad moments which connect with the cruelty, with punishment, with other things. So if you afraid such things, just try to read this story carefully. I put this 5 out of 5, and I think that it would be the second my favorite story of Brom. The first one is Krampus, the second one is Slewfoot. The next story is also wonderful because I decided to meet with a new author for me, Simon St. James, with her wonderful story, The Broken Girls, and it was really mystique, really dark, really depressed story, and I really loved the moments when in a book we have a jump in one time, in another time, and we can understand more deeply the things which happen from past with the present, or we can understand better characters, to understand people who probably died but we can see them in the past like a live person. And I really loved that this story connect with the strange college, with a strange legend about the ghost which just going somewhere near with this college. So it was really cool. The story begins with the moment when one of the girl, she just went from the bus station to this college because she spent some weekends with her relatives, and she decided to go back earlier, and in one moment when she just going on the path, she understood that somebody is near with her. She was scared and she decided to run, and of course something bad happened with her. Nobody have seen her from this moment, and everybody started to think that probably she found her love and she just decided to run away with the man. But her friends, another 3 girls, they were sure that something bad happened with her, that she was died, and probably the murderer somewhere in the college. So the story is really cool because you have the secret in the past, you have secret in the present, because in the present we have the main girl who is a journalist, and she also connect with this college because nowadays college is not working, it's broken, it's so old, and she can understand that somebody bought it for just reconstruction, and she decided to write an article about this one. But she also has a bad thing which connect with this place. I really enjoyed the story. It was so well paced, it was so interesting, it was so gloomy most of the time. At the ending line I was shivering because of the scare, because the author put some lines which connect with this college, the dark rooms, the dark and dirty places, the sounds which connect with the old houses. So it was really wonderful, cool. We have ghost here, this legend which connect with the main ghost. So it was really cool. All was really cool. The finishing line is great, and it's really wonderful connect with full story. So I enjoyed this one. I understood that after this story I will continue to read other books of Simon St. James, because I understood that I really love the style of writing, the plot, the moments of the mystic moments, the legends and other things. So I think that this author is my author. Of course I put the story 5 out of 5, so it's the best book of October. So the next story which I read, it was Frances Hardinge and Cucoo song. Also it was my meeting with new author, because I a lot of times heard about Frances Hardinge. I heard about her stories, about the mystery moments and horrors which she can write, because it's a young adult story which written in a horror genre, and the first part of the story was really like this one, but then for me it's turned to the fantasy line, and it was really cool, but not for my soul who wanted to have a lot of horrors in October. So the story begins with the story about the girl who just fell down to the pond, and after surviving there she just felt not so good. She have a cold, and she felt not so okay, because most of the time she feel hungry. And a lot of moments she just start to think about the food. Everybody start to think that she needs help, they need to be in their house, because in the pond where she just fell down, it was somewhere else, like in the summer holiday cabin, something like that. And also her parents were so upset about happening thing, and her sister, little sister, just afraid her, because she started to think that she's not her sister, start to tell the parents about this one, she started to afraid of her, and most of the time tried not to connect with the sister. We just felt so goosebumps running on the body. Some of the moments just really give it to you, because you can understand that everything is so realistically written, all is so unnatural, but most of the time you can understand why. So it's mystic, you can understand that it's horror, but it's really a wonderful, like you don't have idea of what is not truth, what is wrong, and after some period you just can understand what's going on, what just happened with the girl. And in the fantasy part we can understand what is going on next. In the fantasy part, for me it was a story, looks like stories of Neil Gaiman, when just the world turned down, upside down, and we just there for going somewhere, for doing some things, for understanding and surviving. So I put the story 4 out of 5. I really love this. And I wanted to read a lot of other books of this author. The next story which I read, it was David Mitchell and Slade House. It's story about Slade House, and it was really cool. The book is small, and it's connect from the 5 small stories which connect with each other, and I really was upset at the first moment when I understood that it's just a short stories book, because I really don't like them most of the time, I don't enjoy them. But this book was written happens so perfectly, because one story finished in the one greatest thing and you just can understand wow, and the next story connect with the story which was before it, and every story connect with before, and it was really cool because it was and the horror stories with the ghost, with the strange house, with the strange moments, with the wonderful garden. Also it was a bit thrillery moments, a lot of detective moments, because in the first plane we have the idea that a lot of years ago the mom and the kid just went to the house for meeting with rich people, for meeting with other people who can give jobs and who can give a wonderful way for living for this lady and her kid, because the mom was a musician and she wanted to be famous, but she didn't have a chance, and this chance just connect with this house now. And we can understand there's something strange in this house, strange kids, strange people, other moments which can happen there, and most of the time we can understand what's going on, because the story starts like a normal novel about living people, about their bad lives and so on. But after this one, when the story finished, you can understand that, oh my gosh, what's going on, and the next story connect with this one. I really love the detective line when we can understand the investigation of what happened with this lady and the kid, because everybody in next short story try to understand what's going on there, try to find these people, try to find news about them. So it was really wonderful. I put this book 5 out of 5. It's also greatest story of October. I really love David Mitchell. I read 2 books of him and I think that yeah, this is my author and I wanted to read something more of him, but I just need to understand what I wanted to read. So I really love this story. It's my highly recommendation of this month. The next story was Adam Nevill and Cunning folk, and the story was a bit disappointing for me in this month because I was expecting the story about Slade house, about the horror home with a ghost, with the other moments which can give me like mystery moments in horror movies, for example. But for me it was a bit boring, a bit upset, because most of the pages I read about forest, about the garden, about other things, and for me this line with the garden, with a strange forest, with a mystical forest, it's wasn't a bomb, and I couldn't understand what's actually going on there, because for me the ending of the story which actually mostly not connect with this forest line was unexpectedly, like for what I had a lot of pages about something, if at the end I don't have something. And also the finishing line was for me so clumsy, so uncomfortable, because most of the pages I was calm. I read about calm moments, for me calm moments, because the story is just connect with the neighbors, with the problems of the neighbors, when you can buy a new house and what can happen with everybody there. And also for me wasn't unexpectedly the ending, like I said, because it was open with a moment which can shock me, but it couldn't. And I actually had some questions when I finished this one, like for what, how, where, and the character just decided to do something for what. So the story talks us about the strange house and the family, man, woman, small kid, and there's a small puppy. They just bought this house and decided to live there, to build their family there, their relationship, but something go wrong because they had problems with neighbors, they start to have problems with relationships, they need to repair this house, but they didn't have a lot of money, so a lot of some domestic problems which they had, and which connect with some mystical moments which you have not a lot of time. So I put the story 3 out of 5, and I think that it's okay for the story. And actually I don't know what book I will read next from Adam Nevill. So the next story which I want to tell you today, which I read in the October. It was thriller. It was Listen for the Lie, Amy Tintera. So I really enjoyed the story because the story was really cool. I like the moment of the listening, the ideas about the person who just decided to make again investigation about what happened. Because in the first line we have the situation when a lot of years ago our main girl, she was a person who was guilty for the murdering of her best friend, because they went to the wedding party, and after this one the best friend was found dead, and the main character girl, she was just going on the road in the blood of this best friend, and everybody started to think that she was a killer. So everybody in this town, her parents also were sure that she did it, but the police didn't find enough clues, they didn't find another moments, and they decided that she is innocent, and like, okay, she moved to another state and started to work there without any ideas to come back to Texas, if I'm not mistaken. So all this happened in Texas. After some period, after some years, her granny called her and just started to tell her that he had a birthday, she wanted to have party this year, and she needed to come to her for helping, for having a party, and to be together with her family to try to make wonderful relationships again. I love in the story Granny. She was the best character there. Her humor, her style of talking, her manners of thinking were really cool, and most of the time it was really great to have moments which connect with Granny, with her style of speaking, and it was really cool. Also, I really enjoyed the moment that unexpectedly in this town also came a person who had a podcast about some true crime stories, and he made the first one. It was successful, and he was like a criminal person, and he decided also try to have investigation in the story with our main girl, with her best friend, and it was really cool. A lot of interviews, a lot of things which connect with these moments, a lot of interviews with the people who were in the past, who they did something badly for the main character, they now do something, and for me it was really interesting how people most of the time remember in small moments things which happened a lot of years ago. So in this story was really cool. I was enjoying the story, but I put this 4 out of 5 because of moments which most of the time make me not upset, make me asking the questions. Especially the moments when our main girl, she was in the blood of her best friend, but she started to be innocent. So I had some questions for the story, but story is really cool for thriller moods, for the bad weather. It was really interesting, wonderful humor, wonderful description, great story. So I really in love of the story, and I wanted to read more stories of this author. I just need to check what all also she has. So I told you today about greatest book, the wonderful stories of October. I'm really excited about this month, about my reading, and also I wanted to know your books which you have read. Just give me some recommendation. What have you read? What's the perfect book for October? How did you spend this spooky season? And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel, leave comments, and it's really pleasant for me. I really enjoy when I have some comments from you, because I can connect about books and about literature which we all love. So thanks for watching my video. Bye!